I drank so much espresso that summer. Oh my god, I have never drank more espresso in my life. Hi, my name's Amanda and I live with life-threatening food allergies, and I want to talk to you about why I took a job working as a barista. I was so wired all the time. When I have life-threatening allergies to dairy, peanuts, tree nuts, soy, and most legumes. Now, seems like kind of a crazy job to take, working in such close proximity with so many of my allergens every day, all day. But it was actually a really great experience, and I'm so happy that I did it. I think it was really good for me and for my mental health, and I just look back on it with such fond memories. So, before you take on a role like this, I knew that I was okay to be around my allergen. We did have allergens in my home growing up, and so I was already kind of comfortable navigating that. I did have a history of anaphylaxis. I've had 6 or 7 reactions from dairy and soy, and they were required an EpiPen, hospital, etc. So I knew my own personal history, and I knew that I was comfortable navigating being around my allergens at home, and so being in the restaurant was not going to be a huge leap for me in that way. But I think, before I go into this video, I want to make sure that you know or are able to determine what is safe and what is right for yourself. I was home from school one summer and I had a job. I worked for Clinique Cosmetics for like 7 years, but in the summer there were no hours, so I was basically unemployed. And I was sitting around the house for like 2 days, and my mom was like, okay, this is not gonna fly. My mom said, you better go down there and get a job and don't come home until you have a job at that restaurant. I was like, fine. So I got dressed. It's like in my one blazer, went down there, got a job. Yeah, the restaurant was just opening, so they had all these positions available. They said, oh, well, if you love to cook, like what about the kids? With my allergies, like I can't taste anything, and I think it's hard to be a chef, if you can't taste what you're cooking. And they were like, okay, we can find something for you actually in the bar. And so they ended up placing me in the bar, so I was a cocktail server, and also I was the barista. And that was perfect for me. It allowed me to be in control of my allergens without actually having to worry about tasting things or anything like that, because obviously your barista is not tasting your coffee every time they make it for you. So it just seemed like the perfect role. And then I told my manager, listen, I have all these allergies. What can I do to kind of mediate that situation and make sure that I'm safe? And he said, if you want, you can wear gloves, you can wear like a mask if you need it, though I never did. So they were pretty flexible, but it really came down to me having to understand that if I was taking this job where I was so close to my allergens all the time, it was my responsibility to manage it. So, restaurants are crazy, they're hectic, there's like always a million things happening. Like it's a very hectic environment behind the scenes. Even if what you see is like a calm, peaceful restaurant, in the kitchen, like shit is going down. So it really came down to, if I wanted this job, I had to take the responsibility for myself, and I was up for it. I knew that if I needed more soap, if I needed new sponges, new J-cloths, like anything, if I wanted gloves, I had to go find those items in the restaurant, and then I had to make sure that I had them. So it really, really came down to me. If I had to run to the fridge because I was out of milk, like that was my job. If I had to carry an armful of milk and cream, that was my job. So those were things that I was taking on knowingly. Definitely did not come as a surprise. An embarrassing thing happened. Obviously, because I've never drank milk, I've never really come close enough to smell raw milk, or not raw, but like regular milk. So we had the person who came from the espresso company came in to show us how to make all the drinks, and I had never drank a latte, like not a proper one. I had never drank a latte, a cappuccino, a macchiato. I knew what they were, but I didn't really know what they. Someone came in, ordered a latte, I made the latte, and then I thought, oh, that would just look so much cuter if it had a little bit of foam on top. So I just took a nice little spoon of foam and put it on top and then delivered the latte. And the person looked at me and was like, there's foam on this latte. as though it was the most incredulous thing. And I was like, yeah, I thought it looked nice. But I didn't know that apparently people who drink lattes don't usually like foam on the latte because it tastes different or something. I still don't know. Actually, no one ever really explained it to me. So if anyone does know the answer, please just like comment, because I would actually like to know. Also, I once used cream instead of milk in a latte, which I now understand was probably a gastrointestinal problem for the person who drank it. So I had some different learning experiences. I definitely learned a lot, like a lot. And one of the ironies was that I made incredible foam, like truly incredible foam, to the point that people would actually request that I made their cappuccino because the foam was so dense and so beautiful. And I had this like particular technique, and I am a perfectionist when it comes to things like that. I really perfected it, and I would scoop it out and it would just be like so rich and creamy, and I have absolutely no idea what it tastes like because I never drank it. Working in the restaurant, even if you're a barista or a cocktail server or whatever, you are expected to work. You gotta work your ass off. If you have an idle moment and someone sees you sitting idle, big no-no. Does not fly. There's always something to do. So either you find cutlery to roll, you find napkins to fold, you find glassware to unpack, you find wine to put away, you find things to restock, you find work. We had to grade cheese if customers wanted it. Sometimes you're walking past a customer and they're like, oh hi, can I have some grated cheese? Over to the bread station, grab the cheese, grab a towel, grab the board, go over and grate their cheese for them. And I did do it all the time. I didn't love it. I didn't really seek it out or ask for it, kind of avoided it, but it happened a lot. So I would go do that. I would use the cloth like to hold the block of cheese, and then I would grate it for the customer, and then I'd be like, okay, thank you, goodbye. And then I would quickly leave and scrub my hands like I have never scrubbed them before. You have to scrape plates, you know, go into the back dish pit. There's like water everywhere. There's like hip hop music blasting. It's like people are just like in such a different vibe when you get to that area of the kitchen. And you're like scraping plates, there's like food flying, there's like hot water like hitting all these dishes. It's just an insane environment. It was so exciting though. The whole environment of the restaurant was so exciting. And then of course, you eat at the restaurant. After work, people would stay for drinks all the time. You just stay, hang out with your colleagues, get to know more about them, have a bunch of drinks. It was such a time. Oh, it was such a good time. And you know what? During that time, I didn't have any anaphylactic reactions. I was okay. I learned my limits. I learned my comfort zone. And I learned that I'm capable of a lot. I didn't let my allergies stop me from having a job in an environment that I wanted to be in. And that was just so great for my own personal mental health and managing my anxiety. I think my anxiety about fearing a reaction was actually at an all-time low when I was working at the restaurant, which is contradictory to what you might think because I was so close to my allergens all the time. But I think for me, it was a really good decision. And I recognize that it's probably not a decision for everyone. It certainly comes with a high level of inherent risk, and not everyone wants to do that. I totally get it. There is no judgment if this is not for you. But I will just say that I really enjoyed it.